It's day 8, which is 8 maids a milking. So when I started thinking about milk and what I was going to do for today, there was only one thought that came into my head. Now, if you know me well, you'll know exactly what I'm about to say, because the only thing that I think of when I think of milk is milk chocolate. If you know me well, you know how much I love milk chocolate, and especially Cadbury's milk chocolate. And so this has to be the thing, my idea for today. I just couldn't not. So 8 maids a milking, obviously, is milk chocolate, right? So I'm not sure how long this is gonna last, but so far it is still in its wrapper, which is good. But today I have a really cute idea, decorating idea that uses old bottles, which is one of my favorite ways of decorating. And so I'm going to share that with you. And I'm also going to share the next step in creating our table centerpiece, which is really coming along and looking fantastic. So I can't wait to show you what it looks like now. One thing I love is old bottles, and I have a huge collection of different shapes and sizes, but I also love old milk bottles. And today, as we're doing maids a milking, I thought it was the perfect opportunity to use a milk bottle for our table settling. Now, this is actually it's a small milk bottle. It's one of my favorites actually, because it's a great size for using for flowers or for decorating. But I've come up with this very simple idea that I've got my little Christmas tree, which is just the little artificial one. And I'm gonna put it into my bottle and use this for my centerpiece. Now, I want it to look like snow, so I'm gonna half fill the bottle with salt, which will then obviously look like snow, and then we'll put our Christmas tree in. So my first job is to get my salt into my bottle. So I want enough so it looks like a snow day. And then I'm just gonna take my little Christmas tree and I'm just gonna put it inside. And it just now looks like a Christmas tree on a snow day. But you could make this with whatever you chose. You could put in little characters, you could put in a little deer, you could put in other trees, colors. You could really make this very personal. And in fact, you could personalize these for each of your guests. So each person would have a bottle, and inside would be something in the snow that would be very personal to them. So it's a great little, very creative idea, very simple, but you can be very creative with it. But I think that will be quite effective for our centerpiece for today. So for today's table setting, I've chosen one of my favorite plates. These square plates are just so pretty and so unusual, really, as my dinner plate. And then I have a small round plate with pink flowers on for my center plate. And then my napkin, I'm using another one of my black napkins, and I'm just gonna fold it into 3 and lay it just on the table. So it just folds over the end of the table here. And then I'm gonna put my plates in the middle, and my tree in the milk bottle goes just in the middle of the plate. And then the final piece is to add my knife and fork. And again, a really cute, very simple table place that looks really effective. And these milk bottles, or any bottle that you could use mason jars, you could use any type of glass container with the salt in and then the little characters. You could use these all around the house for decorating. They don't have to just be on the table. Even down the center of the table, having a variety of different shapes and sizes of bottles with different characters in would look really cute as well. So just a simple idea that you could use for any of your Christmas decorating. So with our 8th table setting in place, let's see how our table looks so far. So today we're going to add a bit more greenery to our centerpiece on our table, and I want to add greenery as almost like a garland all the way down the table, but I also want to add it as some height. And so I'm just using this very, very simple idea that I've used before. In fact, we did this earlier in the week with our little tiny Christmas trees. Is I've just got some of these terracotta pots. I filled them with some earth from outside. And I'm just gonna cut a little bit of greenery off my greenery here, and I'm just gonna add it to my pot. And it's just such a simple way of creating something really pretty that you can use on the table. And so let's do a slightly smaller one. So actually what I've done is I've chosen 3 different sizes here. So I've got a very small little pot, I've got a slightly larger pot, or a medium pot I guess, and then I've got a really large one. And the large one is obviously going to be my biggest. And I'm just going to put this piece in. And now you can use any type of greenery you like. You could put in greenery you find outside, maybe you pick some up, you've got some greenery in the house, but whatever it is. And even you could do different greenery, like I'm using the very similar greenery here, but you could use very different ones and just create these little pots. Like I say, the terracotta pots, really cheap, come from the dollar store. And it smells so beautiful too. That's the other thing. That adding this fresh greenery onto your table really enhances the smell as well as, so it's all about all the senses. So it's what you see and what you feel and what you can smell. So, and then you sit down and have Christmas dinner and then you taste. So it's just a really nice way. So let's go and add these to our table. So I've added our Christmas trees, our little miniature Christmas trees to the table. And the other thing I'm just doing is I'm just adding a little bit of moss into these trees. So just on the top of the earth, I've just put a little bit of moss. And again, it just gives a more natural feel. And again, it just makes it a little bit more special. So I've done that on each of the pots, and I've spread them out throughout the table, and you'll see I've used the different sizes, and then I do use different heights. So I've put some of them just onto the table, especially the bigger pots, and then some of the small table pots I've actually put onto the boxes or the books, just to give it some height. So my 8 maids are milking. I'm using 8 blocks. I'm just tracing the pattern out. And then we'll be able to put day 8 up on our wall. So our 8 maids of milk are looking really good. Along with our swans and our geese and our rings and our turtle doves and our French hens and our partridge in the pear tree. So it's time for our next act of kindness, and I'm going to pull another tag out of our champagne cooler. And today's tag says, leave someone a kind note. Now, I don't know about you, but I love receiving little notes, whether it's a post-it note on the fridge or on the bathroom mirror, or, you know, I remember receiving little notes in your lunch, or there's all sorts of different ways, and it doesn't need to be a big thing, but it is so much fun and to see people smile when they receive a nice little note. So, my challenge today for you and for all of us is to leave someone a kind note. And I know often when you leave notes, you don't see people's reactions. It's kind of nice to be able to see their smile. But I know how much I appreciate it, so I'm sure others appreciate it too. So your challenge for today is to leave someone a kind note, and I am going to see you tomorrow back here for our next day on our 12 days of Christmas.